an online teaching and current scenario, where we have the privilege of learning from the immensely knowledgeable Dr. Krunal Soni sir. This event has been thoughtfully organized by the Research Foundation of India in collaboration with Shodh Malwa, Payal University, Gujarat, Eklavya University, JHRF, ARGA, and Edu Academic Inc. Before beginning, I am honored to introduce the Research Foundation of India and shed light on its mission and operations. RFI is dedicated to social upliftment, enhancing higher education quality, and promoting Indian research globally. It organizes international and national conferences, seminars, workshops, and symposiums to integrate intellectual ideas and foster innovation. Committed to scholarly inquiry and the practical application of research, RFI collaborates with top Indian universities through MOUs. Its members include distinguished faculty, researchers, and professionals across various disciplines. With more than 100 chapters in India and about 50 chapters in other Asian countries, RFI has hosted over 1,000 international conferences worldwide, contributing significantly to academic excellence and research development. Notably, it operates independently without government financial sponsorship. Without further delay, I am now pleased to introduce our esteemed session expert for today, Dr. Krunal Soni sir. Sir is an associate professor of finance and accounting at School of Management, GSFC University. He is having a total of 10 years of experience in academics and 2.5 years of industrial experience. His qualifications include BBA and MBA in finance, a Gujarat set in management, PhD in management, diploma in foreign exchange and risk management, postgraduate diploma in research and methodology, and a BCom in accounting and taxation. He is having a total of 26 publications in various reputable journals like Scopus, ABDC, UGC CARE, Web of Science, etc., including a patent in Government of India, for which he had received a loyalty grant for his innovation in finance. Sir has also received three Best Research Paper awards in various international conferences. Sir is also a PhD guide since 2022 in the Veer Narmad South Gujarat University. With this, I invite Sir to humbly begin this session. Over to you, Sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Just confirm the screen sharing.
Sir, it's visible.
Right. Thank you. So, good evening, one and all. So, the first day of this faculty development program, and the theme for this particular FTP program is ICT and innovative tools. So, ICT is one of the integral part of this today's world, where the generation has moving in so fast, where we have to be on top, and it is very important for all of us to adopt all the tools which makes our works easy, and at the same time it brings the efficiency in our work. So it is very, very essential for all of us to consider the ICT tools, and at the same time we should also take into consideration the effective presentation skills. So these are the two important points on which we have to discuss today, because if we have certain caliber, if we have certain talents, if we have certain skills, but if those skills has not been turned up, and if those skills has not been represented in the right manner to the people, to the target audience, then I think the real purpose of presenting and producing the real message of this particular program is, or the particular content or the session in which we talks about, is not going to serve for us, right? So it is very, very important that we should take this part into consideration, that we should take into consideration the ICT tools, and at the same time we also need to take into consideration the effective presentation skill. So that is where the convincing power, the acceptance power, the acceptability of the particular things into the market is always going to comes out. So that is where ICT and effective presentation skills, and ICT itself says that we have to be information, communication, and technology. So it is a mixture of all. It is an integration of all the three parameters on which we have to work out, and that is why it has been mentioned that ICT and effective presentation skill. So with this introductory part, I'll start my presentation. So why we are talking about this ICT and effective presentation skills? Because first of all, we need to understand the importance of the higher education goal. When we talks about the higher education aspect for the universities and for the institute. So first of all, we must need to understand the important goals for this particular aspect, for which I need to see that the first is the primary goals. So what is the primary goals that we need to take into consideration? So the primary goal for every organization institute for to have the employability, that means the student should get the placement. The development of the students we need to done at par. When I'm talking about at par, that means we have to take into consideration the requirement and needs of the industry. So needs of the industry is very, very important, and the need of the industry is always going to be suffice, is always going to be based on the current trends and practices which is going into the market. Current trends and practices is tech generation. So every time we need to suffice all the things for our students in a manner that they should adopt the technological things, and at the same time they should execute the technological aspect. So that is where the employability is going to serve, or it's going to make a purpose in a very significant manner. So that is where we have to talk about the employability part. Secondly, increasing earning potentials. So increasing earning potential means we have to think, we have to work out in a manner like so only placements at the time of university, or leaving the university, getting placed in any of the companies, and to take a job is not going to suffice the purpose. But we have to we have to develop our students, we have to guide our students, we have to mold our students in such a way that even they got the placements today, but if it talks about tomorrow, so they would be able to represent themselves in a right manner, in a great manner. That means they also look forward to the future aspect also. So that is where we also have to develop our students in a manner that they should also be in a positions to increase their earning potentiality, means they should get placed into higher position, timing and gradually again and again. So that is where we have to think about the increasing earning potentiality. So increasing earning potentiality is always going to matters for all of us. Then advanced knowledge. Advanced knowledge means our students should be more advanced. They should have more knowledge, right? So advanced knowledge means they should be updated with the current trend scenarios, things which is going on into the market. So at every field in which they are, whether it is from the commerce, management, science, technology, they should be updated with the current trends and practices. And at the same time, they should have gone through it. And at the same time, it should come into the practice in terms of the usage also, right? So that is where the advanced knowledge is also going to suffice the purpose. So advanced knowledge, and if we want to get this kind of advanced knowledge, these always comes from the ICT tools, right? Because we all know that this is a scenario where we talks about ICT tools, we talks about AI tools, so without AI, so AI is a part and component of technology, right? And it's also the part of communication. If we communicate or if we give commands to anything, the AI will generate the result based on what command we have given to the system, right? So, but which command, what command, and how the command needs to be given. So those practices, those overview we have to give our students, and we have to mold them to utilize those tools and techniques. Sometimes people are discussing about the ethical use of AI, but I feel that the use of AI is very, very essential, because if other people are using AI, so we also have to use it, because the work is going to be very fast. So in no place or in no reasons we can ignore the usage of AI. So we must need to understand the importance of the AI, and that is where advanced knowledge needs to be developed. Wisdom, right? So it's a wisdom is a 360-degree development, right? So if we have all this aspect, so it's a win-win situation for all of us from the stakeholders point of view, like students. So if we developed our students into the right direction, they would be happy, they would be more pleased in terms of what they have gained out of all this process. But that could be possible when we have developed some positive attitudes among the students. So that is where wisdom needs to be created. And research and experimentations, so in India it has been said that we are developing in terms of research and experimentations. But in India, majorly the research is happening in medical field. Other fields are very lacking in terms of the research and experimentation. So when we talks about research and experimentation, now earlier there was a time, not much softwares was available, not much tools was available, and most importantly, we were not aware about the usage of that particular tools. But now the AI, the YouTubes and all this platform has made this world very small. Even though if we don't know anything, we can refer the YouTubes. Even we can ask the AI, for any things that we don't know. Right? So that is where the research and experimentations is also, happen to be very open for all of us, and that is through which we can do the different research and experimentations for our own study. Right. So that is where research and experimentation. Secondary goal, if it talks about, for all of us. So the first is spiritual growth. We have to be very spiritual in terms of, we have to be very positive in whatever sense we are doing the things. So spirituality is very important for all of us, right? So spiritual growth, we have to develop for ourselves. Then mental growth, our mental stability is very important. We should be able to grasp, multiple users, multiple works. And if we have to do it, we have to bring some efficiency. We have to, develop some competences. So this is always going to be come out with the mental growth, which is eventually coming out, into the market. Engaging in question answer. So whenever you are going through the process, you need to observe the process. And when we are observing the process, there should always be the curiosity that we have to develop in our mind. And this curiosity can always be developed, when we are having some tried and tested opportunities for every technology, for every tools that we are using it for our, academics. Right. So that is where we have to engage ourselves into question answer round. So that is where engaging in questions is also going to be, one of the important parameters for all of us. And facilitating better lifestyle, So ultimately, if we are doing all such practices, we always being involved into better lifestyle, we would be able to create the better lifestyle. So that is where facilitating better lifestyle is also going to suffice one of the important purpose for all of us, and that is what we have to take into consideration as a part of higher educational goal, right? So primary goals and secondary goals, right? So both are interconnected, both are connected with each other, and we have to make it into consideration. And developing scientific outlook. So whatever things we are looking for it, we always have to think in a point of view of technology. We always have to think in a point of view of rationality, right? So that is where we would be able to develop the scientific outlook to see all the parameters to be taken into consideration, right? So that is where, scientific way out to think about it, to take into consideration. So that is where the ability needs to be enhanced, right? So that is where we have to develop the scientific outlook. Then there are 3 dimensions of AI. So first is the creativity. So whenever we are talking about the ICT tools, so it should have the creativity. That means we should get it something out of it. We should develop something new, right? So competitiveness. So whenever we are talking about usage of ICT tools, so we also need to take into consideration the competitiveness. That is where what we will bring it out into the society, right? How competitiveness we would be, how the synergy will be created out of the users. So we must need to, have a comparative analysis that, if I'm using just like just a minute. If I'm, if I'm using ICT tools and if I'm not using ICT tools, so what difference would be created out of this process? So that is what we have to think in terms of the competitiveness that we have to create. Then we also have to think in terms of collaboration, right? So whenever we talks about the competitiveness and all such aspect, so it always have to take into consideration that this kind of things is always going to have the effect on the collaboration, right? So it always going to be come out with the collaborative efforts that we need to creating up. So collaboration is also going to be very important. Like, if you are a given university and if you want to establish one research lab, right, but you don't have that competitiveness, or your faculties are not having that knowledge of this particular software or any sort of facilities that we are trying to develop. So it is always going to have the collaboration with other institute, and through which we can take the help of that institute, and we can have the mutual concern to develop those particular aspects, right? So that is where the dimension of ICT tools, where the collaboration is going to be very, very important for all of us. So that collaboration needs to be, taken care. And if we do it, all the three aspects of this ICT dimensions, like creativity, competitiveness, and collaboration. So finally, we would be able to develop the harmony in the society. So harmony in the society means what? The expected outcomes that we are looking for, or the expected outcomes that we are thinking about to develop out of this process, right? So we would be able to get that particular process, out of these practices. So that harmony in the society would be created out of this process. So if you have creativity, if you have competitiveness to use it, that means we are best into the market. And at the same time, if we believe in the collaborations with other institute, right? So that is where we would be able to give the contracts to those people who are competitive in this particular aspect. So we would be able to get the better results out of this process. So that would be able to create the harmony in the society. So we must have to adopt this particular model. Then we have to discuss about types of ICT tools. So what type of ICT tools that we have it? So there are different types of ICT tools that we have it. To name a few, let's say YouTube, right? So what is YouTube? Why we consider YouTube to be one of the important ICT tools for the academics? So YouTube's, where you will get all the videos, sessions, all the content that you are looking for, right? And if at all we don't know anything out of any process, and if you want to refer that particular process, so YouTube is a great tool, is a great platform uh, for our utilization purpose. So obviously it is going to be one of the important parameter for all of us. Then Wikipedia, also it is outdated, because all the theoretical content that we are looking for is available on AI tools and all other resources, like that we have it. So I think Wikipedia is very rare utilized sources nowadays. But yeah, once upon a time, and still, if it is required for some historical backgrounds of any theory, so everyone can utilize this Wikipedia as one of the great platform for all of us. Then Google Groups. So under the Google Groups, you have so many parameters, like you can refer the Gmails, you can have Google Calendar, you know, and every parameters of this particular aspect have their own usage. Let's say if I'll talk about Google Drive. So if you want to save anything, so you can save in this particular Google Drive, where you can put all the contents, and those contents can be saved, with the 15 GB space that we have it in the computer. So that is all, is going to be helpful for all of us in this aspect. So Google Group is one of the aspect under which you can also have the Google contacts. So if you want to save Google contacts, like when we are putting admission nowadays, so every communication from the academic institute is happening through the WhatsApp, so if we want to create WhatsApp group, so there is a feature, where you don't have to save any contact number, but if you save into Google contacts, and if you do the process, the contacts will get automatically saved, right? So these are the various features that we already have it. I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
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 sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So Google Docs is another great platform. It's like a Google MS Word, where you can save the content. Like you can work out as an MS Word,
right? You create your documents, and most important feature of this Google Doc is you can work out as a Microsoft Word, right? But if you want, if you have a multiple people who wants to work on same topic, right? And if you have to work out by sitting at the different location, right, on some projects or some ideas, so this kind of things is always going to be helpful for all of us, right? Where people, while sitting at the different places, will make out the things, and we can always refer those things for all of us. So Google Docs is another platform that we have to see about it, right? So instead of using physical, Word file, we can work out on some projects, and those projects can be shared with multiple people who are sitting from different locations, irrespective of the country, irrespective of the state. So I hope you all are aware about it. Then various blogs. So multiple experts, multiple people are sharing their blogs, who are sharing their important knowledge on the particular topic or aspects, or even they are sharing their, their knowledge, their opinions on the particular aspect or particular scenario which we want to see to it. So this kind of blogs is always going to be helpful for all of us. So we can also refer the blogs where people have shared their knowledge, shared their opinion, right? And out of this, we should come out with some current trends, practices, that we can always refer for all of us. So blogs is another platform, which we always refer for all of us as a part of ICT tools. And even not ICT tools, like, if we refer for any subjective knowledge, so this kind of blogs is always going to be help out for all of us. Google Maps, so I think we all are using it. Slide share, so if you are in hurry, and if you need some slides in a ready-made mode, so I think we academician are very good in terms of using it. But now there is one alternative of the slide share, that is AI. So if you ask AI to make any presentation on your behalf, so AI can create those presentation within 2-3 minutes. So this is how the world has start facing it. The world has evolved it. So again, if today any person is taking from SlideShare, they can survive. But after 5 years, when AI will grow, the facilities are going to be grow, things are going to be changed. So any students or any faculty cannot stick to the old things. Like, for us, it is a SlideShare. So it is very, very important that we should put those things into AI and we should create those slides. Right. So that is where, this kind of AI tools is also going to helpful for creating the slides for all of us, right? So that is a slide share. Important source of information. So where we can get the information in terms of various article, historical backgrounds, So that is where wiki spaces. Then Skype, Dropbox, Facebook, right? Social media platforms. These are, Twitter. Now it is considered to be X. Digo, SlideShare we have already covered. Mozilla Firefox is a search engine, and Google Chrome, right? So these are the few platforms where we always get an information for ourselves, and we should always take those information in a very positive manner. We can always take those information for our upliftment of the knowledge, and the same thing is going to be utilized for the better purpose in the future aspect, right? So these are the important sources of information that we always have to take into consideration. Role of ICT tools. So role of ICT tools, if we remember the scenario of COVID, so it was a ray of hope, right? Because at that time, there was a concern from all the academic institute, that how to make an education uninterrupted, how to make an education to be flawless, right? Because there was a concern, where how do people meet with each other, and the academic things was the highest affected things. But although the ICT tool make it, ICT tool made it, the academic sector, to be more pleasant, by having uninterrupted learning process. So thanks to these ICT tools and innovations, and most importantly, the adoptive nature that people of India have shown towards the ICT tool, and those ICT tools now become an integral part of the academic things. And that is why we are conducting today this FTP program, that that people have to learn those ICT tool. At the same time, they should also learn how to make it effective presentation skills, with utilization of ICT tools, and some soft skill natures that we have to create along with the technical skills. So if you have these two combination, we would consider ourselves to be the better product, that better teacher, and to represent and to deliver the session in front of the students, right? So it was a ray of hope in this pandemic, ICT tools. So why? Because it was an integral part of teaching and learning process, where students and faculties was not in a position to meet with each other, but ICT tool made it, possible. Uninterrupted learning, slowless learning, no administrative things, right? And most importantly, crystal clear message pass on would be possible with the utilization of this kind of ICT tool. So it was a ray of hope in this pandemic program. So when the pandemic was going on, so countries over the globe was in the panic situation that how the education needs to be taken care, because it lasts over one and a half year or 2 years, right? So in that time, ICT tool came into picture, and they made it possible for all of us to have uninterrupted teaching and learning process. What is the benefit of effective utilization of ICT tools? So first is it motivates the students. How it motivates the students? So in ICT tools, students don't have to do anything. They can sit at their places. They can have uninterrupted learning. Even during the learning, if they feel that anything they don't know, they can easily utilize those ICT tools, and again they can search it out the concept, things which they don't understand, and again they can re back with the flow of the session where they missed out. That is the most important aspect, and that motivates the students in multiple aspects, that you don't have to come out to their respective classrooms or locations, but they can sit at home, and they can have the enjoyable learning process without any interruption, right? So make session more attentive and interesting. As I said that if anybody is interested in any topic, so without interruption, your screen is with you and your hardware and software is with you. You can listen to the session, you can visualize the session, you can see that particular session, and you can continue with your enjoyable journey of learning without any interruptions in the market, right? So that is where it helps to make your session more attentive and interesting. So that is where again ICT tools plays an important role for all of us. Then re-energize teachers motivation. Why it is re-energize motivation? Because if I'll take one example that although I'm not denying that physical classroom is not good, it is also good, but every parameter has their different features, and according to the features there are certain problems and there are certain prospects. So again, for ICT tools also, the prospects are more in compared to the problems, right? So it re-energizes the teacher's motivation, because you can imagine that today there is a faculty development program, and we are from different states, different location, from different universities and organization, but still while sitting at our places, we would be able to connect with each other through the Google Meet, and there is a session is going on, and where the knowledge sharing is happening, irrespective of wherever the location we are, right? So passing of knowledge, sharing of knowledge, is significantly happening with the ICT tools, right? So that is where it is going to be one of the important parameters for all of us, right? So it always re-energize the motivation of teachers, because it reduce the administrative load of faculties in terms of managing the classes, handling attendance and all this aspect. Learn new skills and techniques, right? So ICT always tells us that you always start learning new skills and techniques, which can always enhance your knowledge, skills, ability, and that you can demonstrate to the people, right? So that is where it helps to develop some new skills and techniques among the students. Help students to understand the concept clearly. Why? Because as I already mentioned that the screen is yours, the internet is yours, the net is yours, and you are free to type, we are free to search anything or everything, whatever you have not understood or whatever you have not received it. So that is how it helps students to understand the concept very clearly. So that's why ICT tools are considered to be blessing in disguise. If I have to talk about from students' perspective and from the teacher's perspective. So From students' perspective, it is considered to be the mixed model because it certainly conduct and it certainly provides the importance of textbooks and at the same time the technology in this pandemic, and which is considered to be the best suited for the tech friendly and modernized new generation, right? Because now today is a generation that you can't keep them without the usage of technology. They like to use technology. They can survive in the technology. They cannot survive without technology. So that is what it is a mixed model that we all have to adopt. We cannot completely adopt ICT tool because somehow it missed out physical context, important psychological parameters. At the same time, we cannot avoid completely ICT tools because they cannot be more enhanced in terms of their basic fundamental knowledge by utilizing those ICT tools. So that is how it is a mixed model. It is always a platform for having new learnings, and that always helps us to create a curiosity in the minds of students, and that is how the seeds of creativity can be developed, and through which the better tree in terms of better knowledge would be developed among the students, right? So it is always considered to be the seeds of creativity among the students. It also gives access to the students to do any courses, right? So you have multiple platforms where students can go and enroll themselves for any sort of courses that they are looking for. So that is how the ICT tools gives an access to the students to do any sort of courses at any point of time by connecting themselves with the best of faculties. So you can go for Swayam, you can go for Coursera, right? Where various universities across the globe, if you go to Swayam, so there are so many Indian universities and institutes like IIM, IITs, IISCs, NITs, right? Where the faculties are coming out with their own knowledge and they develop and design some curriculum courses in terms of video lectures and physical soft material. And after doing this, the learners are also being forced to go at physical location online, and they should give the exams, right? And out of this they have been evaluated, right? Coursera, where international universities professors are doing the same practices. So depending upon the content and the codes that we are looking for, we can always aim for this kind of learning platforms which help us to enhance our knowledge, skills, ability, and most importantly, it will help us to make ourselves to be competent into the market, right? And that's why the ICT tools are considered to be the most cost friendly innovations, because when we talks about the utilization of ICT tools, so ICT tool does not demand any sort of infrastructures, or any sort of high cost facilities, that we are looking for. It only demands, we should have the internet, we should have this kind of what I can say is softwares, and you should have your own laptops, and the sky is the limit for all of us, right? So it is a cost friendly innovations for all of us. If it talks about from the teacher's perspective, right? So if it talks about teachers' perspective, then again, it is empowering them and helping teachers to develop and to design their knowledge, skills, talents by having uninterrupted learning to continuously connected with all those parameters and develop their what I can say is develop their skills, abilities, and techniques to make their session more interactive, to make their content more competitive, and through which they can also be download those things to their respective students, right? So that is how it is going to be helpful for the teachers. It also helps to bridge the gap between students, uh, earlier people have to go and meet multiple peoples at the same time you know so this is how ICT tools can make the things differentiation. So that is what we have to see to it. So that is how teachers can develop their learnings ability. That doesn't mean that only teachers can do it. The students can also do the same things. So now there is no differentiation in terms of the basic and fundamental knowledge of any particular topic that teachers are going to teach into the classroom, because the meanings are available online. Students can easily search, type, and get the content. But where is the role of teacher? Where the teachers will try to share the facts and figures, try to demonstrate the practical scenario of the topic, and that is where the role of teachers in this tech generation era, which is called ICT tools, which is a sub part, you know, AI tools. So that is where we have to see to it, and henceforth, we have to fulfill the purpose of reaching the hearts of the students instead of mind. So ICT tool, that is why it has the power to make teachers reach an unlimited number of students, which was earlier not possible in a physical classroom, especially in a rural context, where the dropout rates were very high because there was connectivity issue. Students are not having that much financial capabilities to meet up the higher educational fees, so many other expenses that they have to meet up to sit into the classes to get the knowledge, right? But this time these things have been null and void by the ICT parameters, right? So now if the students are connecting with any courses through online, they don't have to connect, they don't have to come at the places, they don't have to spend extra money for coming into the location. But if they really want to learn something, they can learn everything while sitting at their places. The sky is a limit in the era of ICT and AI. So we will discuss about the modern ICT tools, for teaching and learning process. So, as I already mentioned that, Swayam is a, Government of India Ministry of Education initiative for massive open online courses for all the stream, for all the sciences in which we are, right? So they are providing different courses for all of us. Coursera is an international platform where every universities are coming together, and they are also portraying and they are also putting some courses through online. Harvard University, Harvard Business Schools are also having such kind of courses at their own platforms. Baiju is now outdated, but earlier Baiju was the great platform for the students for the primary and secondary level. So they are also connecting, they are also developing such kind of courses, and those courses can also be easily gettable and accessible by them. I am Bangalore, so that is where also this initiative was taken up. And now I am Bangalore have their own personal platform also, and they have also tie up with this YM only. So I am Bangalore are providing so many courses on business analytics, and all such courses. Just now, before 2 days back, they have disclosed the results also. Right, I was also enrolled for one of the courses in IIM Bangalore, that is predictive analysis. So yes, we can always enhance our knowledge by enrolling in multiple courses, and through which we can also sharpen our skills, talent, and knowledge in the respective domains and area in which we want to become a specialized. So this is very good initiative from the Education Institute and Ministry of Education, Government of India. So we should always be connected with all such things which is important for all of us. Google also created various courses like digital marketing courses, and IIT Madras has also created few technical courses for the those who are holding the degrees of technicals, right? So this is also is going to be one of the important parameter for all of us. So that is where we also have to think about it. Okay, then what are the online classroom tools if at all we want to conduct any online courses or online classes, right? So what are the tools that we all have it? So we have a Zoom platform, right? So Zoom is another platform where teachers and students can connect with each other for having a session, or even the learners, right? The speakers and the learners can also be the part of one of the platform called Zoom. So under the Zoom, you have the recording facilities. At the same time, you can also take the attendance through the Zoom. So that is where, to take the classes and attendance, administrative duties are also going to be loaded, reduced. And at the same time, they are also providing the records of attendance in terms of the number of seconds or minutes that particular candidate has been connected with the classes. Classin is another platform, where we can always be connected. GoToMeeting is third platform. Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, right? Schoology, and Big Blue Button. So these are the few ICT tools through which the people can connect with each other, and they have the uninterrupted learning and facilities of all this kind of things. So yes, Zoom, Classin, GoToMeeting, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, Schoology, and Big Blue Button. So these are the few platforms. Might be before this class we were aware about few 2 3 platforms, but yes, we have multiple platforms through which we can always be connected. So quiz platform. So if at all we want to take an exam for the students for the session, or if we want to see their understanding or knowledge, that we have served, so you can always go for Google Form. Thinkexam.com is another platform. I'm not saying that these are the only platform, but these are the few examples and how ICT tools are helping us, in the teaching learning process. So even though if you want to evaluate the students' knowledge in terms of whatsoever parameters that we have, think about it. So we can always take the exams on this platform. So they are also providing questions. They are also providing the results that the students has achieved out of this, right? And they can also provide the gradings of the students, and even they are also providing the analytical overview of the results that student has gained in particular question wise, right? So this is how the comparative analysis is also possible. So this is how we can reduce our efforts, and this is what the ICT tools are making for all of us. FlexiQuiz, that is a third platform. Then fourth is Tesmos.com, right? I have personally used this platform, very nice platform. Even though many of the exams in Mumbai universities are going to happen with Tesmos.com, where these question paper can be settled, sequence can be jumbled, then few on a timely basis you can start your quiz. At the start of quiz, what message needs to be developed? At the end of quiz, what message needs to be developed? At the end of the quiz, you can easily download the Excel file with a single click. Comparative analysis between students is possible. Even gradings can be given if the criteria has been set up. So all those facilities are available with this kind of ICT tool. So obviously, we should always utilize it. Proforce Quiz Makers. So again, this is the fifth platform. Then ICT resources for education. So obviously, if somebody is asking, like I have already said, that rural people or the people who wants to sit at their places and they want to learn, or all the professionals in the market, who wants to enhance and improve their knowledge, but although they are not in a positions to do it, right? So what sort of facilities that they should have it, with the utilization of ICT tools, if they want to improve their knowledge. So the person needs the hardware, that is computer, the projector, right, where they can have the visualization. If they are learning from the group of people, they need your laptop or PCs and softwares, right? So if I'm talking about the effective presentation skills, so you have to have the PowerPoints, you should have the prezi.com, right? So where we can make the effective presentations and through which we can portray in front of the people, right? So that is what the software and hardware. Effective presentation skills, if I need to talk about, so what is the definition of this effective presentation skill? So it is a means of communication that that can be adopted to various speaking situations, such as talking to a group, addressing a meeting, or briefing a team, right? So whenever we are doing this kind of practices, we should always adopt the effective communication skills, where people are meeting with each other, they are having discussion on the particular topic, or even if you are taking the meetings of your staff or team members, you should always have this communication skills with you. What is presentation skills, right? So whenever I'm talking about presentation skills, so there are four parameters that we need to work out. The first is we have to plan it. So whenever we talks about presentation skills, so what presentation, what content we need to deliver to our target audience, that always you have to plan out, right? So that is where you have to plan your content, you have to plan your sessions, and according to this plan we have to make the presentation. So that is where you have to plan the things which you have to portray. Once you plan it, the plan should not be in the minds, the plan should not be always on the air, but it should always comes into the practicing mode, it should always comes into the picture, it should always comes into the practices, right? So you have to prepare your plan, right? So it should always comes into practices, so that is where you have to prepare it. So presentation skills, so you have to prepare your plan, right? How you work, how you are going to execute. So this is where you have to prepare the plan. Third is practices. Once you prepare according to the plan that you have it, right, about your content, or the presentation or the topic on which you have to convince your faculties, you have to convince your boss, so that is to be converting that has to be converted into the practices, right? So this kind of practices we always have to make it like, it should always be comes into positive way. It should always be comes into practices. And once it has to be in practices after doing so many demo, and once we are clear and convinced that this is going to be work out, then we have to present in terms of the in front of the target audience, right? So that is how the gradual process is. But yes, with all these aspect and with all the due respect, this process needs to be rigorously followed so that the appropriate results that we have planned out is going to be achieved. Otherwise, it would be very difficult, if the things are not going out, or if the things are not turning out according to the plan or actions that we have decided. So that is what we have to see to it. So what is planning? As I already said that, whenever you are going for presentation skills with the ICT tools, and whenever you are making the presentations with those softwares, but as a presentation skills or, soft skills, you always have to see that who is your target audience. Although the topic is same, but you should not have the same content with this different audience, right? Because I need to understand the level of understanding of that particular audience, and according to that I have to serve them the dinner of knowledge or the lunch of knowledge. Because if the people is from the same background, and if I'm representing to them, I should always have my tone, I should always have my volume of knowledge is always going to be on the higher note. But if I'm representing to the different audience, although on the same topic, then I need to start from the scratch. I should not jump out to the higher level. Otherwise, it will be a bouncing speech for them. So they will bored, or might be they lose their interest. So you also need to understand, whenever you are going for presentation, you always need to understand that why people are coming to listen you, what is their expectations, and according to that, you have to present in front of them. What is their goal for coming out? So why they are coming out? Is it for certificates? Is it for knowledge enhancement? Is it for adopting technical skills? Right. So in different circumstances, even for the same circumstances, for different people, the goals might be different.
ते open आहेत खिडक्या.
But we should not take into consideration the goal of everyone, but we have to work on the mutual concern and mutual goals. How long it should be, right? Let's say if you want to plan a session, like, today you are connected with this FTP. So for how much tenure, right, the session should be continued, right? So that is where we have to plan the duration for which I need to develop. Even for the content wise, the duration needs to be decided, right? So that is where we have to decide your tenure for which you need to connect with each other, and where it has to be taken place, right? So you also have to decide the place where it is going. Is it in the classroom? Is it in the activity room? Is it in the auditorium? Is it outside the market? Is it going to be at the corporate places, or there would be some labs or something, right? So we have to decide where it has to be prepared. So you have to structurize your presentation, what is going to be, how it is going to be. It should be prompt. It's a prompt action, quick actions that you need to see. Some visualization needs to be provided, because it's always a psychological parameter. When people listen something, and when they are listening something with some visualization, some things in front of them, so the understanding level would be quite better in terms of what you are listening. So it's a simple example for all of us, like, if you are listening in the radio, and the same thing you are looking at your laptop or mobile phones with audio visual. So obviously the convincing power, the attraction, attention that you will get it from this aspect is always going to be higher in terms of only the audio things is going on, right? So yes, voice, your tone of voice is also going to matter. You should not be too high, it should not be too low, but depending upon the content and the requirement of the behavior, your tone needs to be adjusted, your voice needs to be adjusted. Okay. Appearances, how you will appear in front of the audience, your appearance is always going to be matter. Like, your posture, your gesture is always going to matters for all of us. So how you are going to appear is always going to matter. How your style is, right? Is it a casual, is it a formal? So your style is always going to matter. Questions, how you are asking the questions to the multiple people. Structure, so how your presentation needs to be structurized. So your presentation is basically divided into three parts. Like first is introduction, main theme, summary, and conclusion. So your introduction, what introduction should cover? It should always grab the audience, So your first impression is always last impression. So you should have always some catchy content, on the parameters on which you have to give the presentation, which can grab the attentions of the audience and which can create the curiosity in the minds of audience to whom you are representing on the particular topic. So that is how, the remaining part of your presentation, you don't have to work out, or you don't have to make an efforts to, to maintain their attentions in your presentation, right? And most importantly, it is very important for all the speakers that, your target audience should not be deviated from you. So that is where you should always try to grab the attention from the audience. Then once your attention has been created with some, dialogues, some present some audio visual things, or some catchy lines that you have provided, then you would be able to, divert, or you should be able to throw your main content where not so much fun or the entertainment aspect, but the basic knowledge that you have to provide should be deliver in a right time, in a right manner, to the right audience, in a right perceiving things. Very, very important, because if your audience is not perceiving out of their presence, then I think the real purpose of arranging those kind of sessions is not going to suffice. And summary and conclusion. So once your main theme has been delivered, you also have to summarize with key findings, key learnings, key conclusions in front of the audience as a part of, main content, or the real time learnings that you have received it. Either you can deliver, or either you can also ask to them also. So the interactive things you always have to develop as a part of your presentations. So visual aids. So visual aids, in terms of some visualization, you have to use it. Either it could be from the, simple fonts, colors, and graphs that you have to create. You should also use some image and clips, right? You should always use those images which can create some visualizations. And most importantly, your slides should be very catchy. Like, you should not have much content on the slides, but your slide should always be restricted up to limited contents, like, 3 to 7 bullet points that you need to develop, design. And don't overcrowded your slides, in terms of, you should not put so much contents in your slides, but your content should be limited up to 3 to 7 bullet points, right? And you know you should always try to have wake up the people by, in between putting those contents. Not too much visuals, not too much ads, not too much things which is colorful things, but yeah, after every main important message that you have delivered, where you feel that people might be bored, or some tired with their critical thinking, so then after you have to make them relax with your effective presentation skills. And that is where it is in the hands of the speaker, how he or she is managing his particular session with the utilization of those visual aids. So that is what I wanted to convey. Yeah. So there are few ICT tools which I want to portray over here. So there are so many, ICT tools. What I can say is uh, AI tools which you can use it. So you can see this over here. These are the different AI tools. You have Compose AI, you have Glass AI, Max AI, McAfee, Manley, Zotero, Keen Recorder, right? So all those things, if you are looking for, like if I wanted to go for, Skyspace Copilot, right? So you should always, find out this Google Chrome extension, right? So, so you can see this Google Chrome extension, right? So already I have it, right? But if you want to add it, so you should always add those extension as a part of AI tools. So this kind of AI tools are always going to make your work very easy, effective, and convenient for all of you, right? So whatever content that you are looking for, and if you have those AI tools, so this kind of things is always make your work easy, comfortable, and most importantly, the convenient for you, right? So that is where we have to utilize this Skyspace Copilot tools, right? So let's say I want to go for Skyspace Copilot. So what is this Skyspace Copilot? Uh, you know, you can see this Skyspace Copilot. Right. So if at all I want to search, or if at all I want to find out anything out of it, right? So you can see this Skyspace Copilot is generating for me, right? And if at all, if I want to find out some literature review on any sort of topics, right? So you can see this, I want to find out some topic on behavioral finance. You can see this. See this. So they are answering that top 5 papers, but before even to show this paper, they have shown the concept of behavioral finances and few, you can see this. There are few concept of behavioral finances. So that is what it is. Then after they are showing me the papers. Again in the papers, you can see this. Which kind of paper you want? You want all the paper who have their PDF file. You want those paper who are open access, right? So right now you can see this, they are showing all the papers. So here they are not having PDF, so they are asking me, even if I want to request this particular authors to provide PDF, so even through Skyspace Copilot I can directly send the request for providing those complete PDF papers, so this is what this kind of facilities are available. Even though I want to export something in terms of bibliotex, CSV file, Excel file, in terms of all the references and content of in this particular page is having, so I can easily download those content and you can utilize it, right? Let's say if I want those papers who are having only full PDF, so I can click on this PDF and Skyspace Copilot will filter out the results. And again, they will provide me the, new results for the content which I'm looking for. Now you can see this. This is the results which has been provided. Now you can see this, all the PDF is available, right? So if I want to open this PDF, I can click on it and the entire paper will be open on the next pages. You can see this. So this is the paper which I want to utilize it. And if I feel that this paper is useful for me, so I don't need to download this paper. I can create my library, right? I can create my library. So you can see this, my library. So I can create my library and I can save my paper. So you can see this. So even in this behavioral finance, if I feel that I have my paper, right, and I want to add this particular paper, so I can add this paper into my library, behavioral finance, and I can save it. Even I want to export this file, so I can, right? And if I want the summary of this paper, so you can see this, it can generate the summary of this paper, right? That what this paper is, what content that we have covered up. So this can create this per summary. So this is the summary of this particular paper, which has been, generated out of this, right? So this is a summary which has been generated for this paper, clear? And then after, if I want to get some references, right? So if at all I want to get some references out of it, so even though you can easily cover up the references, so already it is added into my library, right? So if you want to get some references of this particular paper, so you can always, get the references. Just a minute. Yeah. So you can see this references. Yeah. So here is the references that you can always cite your paper. So again, for references, there are multiple types of references which you can give it. So these are the multiple types. You can see this. There are n number of styles which you can have it, and even those references you can download it and export it. American, ACTA, Algorica, So in the American Institute of Aeronautic and Astronautic, right? So all these sites are available. We use in social science like APS style. So even you can copy this citation, or even if you want, this is the references, and even you want to cite it, even if you want to cite in a manner, in a context, so you can copy this and you can make a citation for any of the word file you are making it. Let's say if I have this word file, right? So this is a word file which I have it, right? So let's say I want to make this content. So let's say this is one paragraph which I'm putting it into the Word file, right? So this is a Word file which I have created. Right. Now, if I want that, this particular line has been said by this particular author, so I can, take this as a citation, in a same format of citation, you can see this. And the same thing, you can put it over here in the references. So this is a references. So it has done. Your job is over along with DOI number. The same way, let's say if I have this second paper, so I want to cite this paper. So I can click on it. You can see this, the citation is in process. So it will generate the citation for me. So I can click on it because there are more than 2 authors. So it is said chobe at .all. So you can see this, and same I can put it as a references, and I can connect it. You can see this now. So this is how we can use these ICT tools, right? So in this, if this kind of work is gettable, so nobody says that ICT tool is unethical. I can say that there should be some limitations, but if the things are getting easy for us, if the things are making possible for us, so obviously those tools which are helping us and making our work so easy and convenient. So obviously our efforts and our aim is to make our work convenient and most importantly to be effective. So obviously we have to utilize those tools and make our work to be more concrete on all the parameters. So this is what I wanted to convey, you know. So that's it from my side. Now I'm making this session open for question answer. So if you have any questions, the stage is open for all of us. Anything to share, anything to discuss, please. Yeah, anything you don't understand, anything you want to convey, please. No questions?
Thank you, sir. I am सीमा द्विवेदी and I am a research scholar. So, सर आज का सेशन बहुत ही अच्छा था और हम चाहते हैं कि जब अगर कल का सेशन हो तो हमारे लिए कुछ यूजफुल चीजें ऐसी हो जिससे हम रिसर्च पेपर लिखने में थोड़ा सा अच्छे आगे आ सके, हम अपनी थीसिस बनाने में भी कुछ अच्छे आ सके. And thank you very much, sir. This is very useful for us. Thank you.
Thank you. So, what is your topic, madam?
Hello, sir. Good
Sir.
evening, sir. This is Meena Rani from Hyderabad.
Yeah, just
So
a
this
minute.
session is
Meena,
very
madam, what is your
useful
topic?
to us, sir.
What is
Hello.
your topic?
सर राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति के आलोक में प्राइमरी शिक्षा की गुणवत्ता सर सतना जिले के विशेष संदर्भ में.
कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटी से,
सर
मैडम?
AKS यूनिवर्सिटी सतना सर.
Okay, great. Yes, Meena, madam, please.
सर ये ICT टूल साइटेशन के बारे में मुझे थोड़ा सा डाउट था, कौन सा डाउनलोड करना. इफ पेपर में हम लोग ये साइटेशन नहीं दिए तो कुछ वैसी प्रॉब्लम होता है क्या सर? इफ सपोज आई एम ए लैंग्वेज पर्सन तो कोई ऐसी लैंग्वेज का मैंने लिया समझो एक कोटेशन, सो उसके साइटेशन के लिए मुझे बहुत सारा डाउट्स था। इनसे ये प्लेगरिज्म में वो लोग कैसा
साइटेशन तो
लेते
मैम
हैं
देना
सर?
ही पड़ेगा। देखिए, अगर आप कोई, देखो एक चीज, सिंपल सी चीज है,
हाँ,
इफ यू आर राइटिंग इंट्रोडक्शन लिटरेचर रिव्यू,
यस सर,
so obviously you are taking some theoretical fundamentals, so those theories we have not developed, so we have
यस
taken from others. So
हाँ, यस सर,
obviously research says that whenever you are taking things from others, you always have to
ओके,
cite them, you always have to give some credits to them.
ओके,
Without giving credits, how can you make your paper to be convenient?
okay. Suppose the Sanskrit quotes, if I am taking, sir, so so I need to mention, no, so in which book and which
Yeah, definitely. In
writer as well.
language, there is a huge problems of citations.
Yes, sir. For that, where when after completing this one, when I'm checking the plagiarism and all, so I found difficulty that 2% or 3% as a plagiarism. It's found no, it is if everything is mine, but some quotations. If I'm quoting
Yeah,
some
obviously we
books.
have to take few things, because everybody has done the research, everybody has used it. So somehow others, if your contents are matching with others, because when we are reading from somewhere, we also catch, the pattern of that particular things. So that
Okay,
could
sir.
always be possible.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right.
But yeah, I learned so much of information from you, sir. I'm very
Thank
thankful to you for this session.
Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Any other queries? Any other queries, any suggestions, any opinion, please?
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Can you hear
please.
me? Yeah. So, have you ever used Mendeley Reference Manager?
Yeah, Manley, Zotero,
Yeah, yeah.
obviously. So
So,
these are
how?
quite, I can conduct one session on this,
Yeah, yeah.
but this is one extension which I have shown to you.
Right. So,
If you are
what?
not doing it,
Right,
and
right,
on a short notice or on a fresher's ground, if you want to create, so you
right.
can utilize this particular aspect also.
Because over the years, I've been using Mendeley, and
Right. Good, good.
this one was new to me. I didn't know.
This is, where you mainly you have to go for process.
Right,
So for this, it is ready-made available,
right, right. So, this was very informative. I didn't
Right.
know. Thanks a lot for sharing.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Oh,
So even though if you have any queries, I have put my number in the chat box. You can always reach out to me in case if you feel any problems in your research. Yeah, any other queries, please? Done for the day. Thank you. Okay, I hope this first session was, up to the mark and
yeah,
expectations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Over to
okay.
you, Madam Jain, Madam.
Yes, sir. On behalf of the Research Foundation of India, a heartfelt thank you to Sir